Hi, I'm David, and we're going to talk today about the new Centrak extension to Omni. Just to summarize the solutions of Omni. So first we have the attack alarm and man down alarm. We've got nurse call, whether it be turnkey nurse call or integration with an existing off-the-shelf nurse call. We've got nurse presence, whereby the staff member that wears the nurse that wears the tag, her presence to the room will be sent to the nurse call system. Asset tracking, okay, we've got powerful asset extension that performs par level alerting and in real-time inventory reports. And we've got mobile and browser-based web asset searching tools. We've got the infant abduction and mismatch alerting, where we can manage the exits or the movements of an infant through a maternity ward, and if necessary, lock doors as the infant is unescorted. We have senior wander prevention, similar application for wanderers such as Alzheimer's patients. We've got access control, where we unlock doors with an active or a passive tag, standard access application. We've got temperature monitoring with a dashboard and temperature alerts in the event that, let's say, if refrigerator deviates from a predefined range of temperatures. We've got hand hygiene compliance, where we send the staff member a discrete message in the event that they violate a hand hygiene rule, such as approaching a patient without first disinfecting their hands. And we've got intelligent building control, where we integrate and we control lighting and air conditioning and elevator control with as a function of the location of a tag. So that's just a few of the applications that we can achieve using the Omni software. What are the benefits of integrating with the Centrak RTLS system? Well, first of all, we've got the Gen 2 IR, which provide battery-powered devices, no need for running cables, and it has these virtual walls where you can explicitly define the location of a tag between bed bays within, let's say, an emergency ward, so that when we can distinguish, or the Centrak RTLS provides a different location based on the bay of the nurse, or where the nurse or doctor is currently standing. We've got Wi-Fi, or the Centrak RTLS provides tags, multi-mode tags with Wi-Fi capabilities, so that when there's no UHF coverage, then the tag moves over to a Wi-Fi mode and is able to communicate with the standard Cisco Wi-Fi system. And that enables us to, makes us eligible to compete for some major tenders in the market. We've got environmental monitoring in the Centrak RTLS system, so that we have temperature, humidity, and all that with sensors that transmit via Wi-Fi. So there are a lot of benefits to using the Centrak hard network, the RTLS system, within the Omni software. And of course, you can mix and match. You can have, let's say, a infant abduction system using Elpas hardware and an asset tracking system, or a Wi-Fi based alert panic alarm system with Centrak, all under using the Omni software. What are some of the Omni features that that Centrak systems can benefit from? So it's got alerting and escalation, so that when an alert is triggered, when the criteria of an alert is fulfilled, then it will trigger an alarm. We'll be able to route those alarms intelligently, and they will escalate if they're not answered and trigger a secondary alert if they're open beyond a certain period of time. We've got very good web client graphics and very user-intuitive interfaces. We've got mobile applications for handling those alerts, for searching for assets, for managing shifts and assigning rooms to nurses and moving them as needed, so that those alerts are routed to the correct responder. We've got voice and video alert response. So if a callback number is defined for a location or a badge, then when the user presses the call location button, then a voice channel will be created between the mobile and the room. And actually, if a Skype address is defined there, then a video chat will be open, so that actually the responder will be able to have eye contact with the room and with the patient without arriving to the room physically. So that's quite a nice feature there. As I said, based on the identity of the user, based on the type of alert, location of alert, time of day, we route the alerts to the proper client, whether it be web, mobile, display panel. We can change the status of tags automatically based on location and have certain workflow scenarios so that we control and alert if a proper process is not maintained. And we can, for example, alert if the tag, let's say an asset is brought into a soiled staging area, then the status of the tag will be changed accordingly to soiled. If the tag is taken to a testing area, then the tag will be automatically disarmed so that when the button is pressed, it will initiate a test and not an actual attack alarm, etc. These are auto actions. We can also have a combination of inputs together with tag location. So, for example, if a patient presses the button in their room, then we'll get a patient call. However, if there's a nurse located in the room and that button is pressed, then that would trigger an emergency call. If, for example, you have a corridor, so you can define what's called a virtual wall. So if you put up like a passive infrared detecting when a person walks by, you can alert. But if a person is wearing a tag and walks by that same location, then no alert will be triggered. So we've created more or less a virtual barrier in that corridor without a physical obstruction. We've got these display panels. The display panels display the alerts. They also let you search for tags and change the status of tags. They have two speakers, stereo, and you can attach also external speakers for more powerful sound. And you can position these around your facility on the wall to enunciate alerts. We also have paging capabilities of sending alerts to various pagers and to DEX systems, to email, to ESPA compatible devices, to TAP compatible devices, to HTTP post and CAT compatible devices. We've got a whole selection of protocols that we have implemented for sending alert messages to third-party systems. We've got HL7 integration for getting admit, discharge, and transfer events from the healthcare information system, so that when a patient is admitted to the hospital or to the facility, then that is automatically added with the name, with the nature, the category of the patient, etc., is added to the Omni database. And when it's that same patient is transferred, we might change the status. All depends on a rule base that you can build. And of course, when the patient is discharged, then the tag will be removed from the database. Active Directory integration, so we can get badges or software user names from the Active Directory, and use the group association within the Active Directory to apply to the tags or to the Omni users, right? Also, when an Omni user logs in, that user will be authenticated, his password will be authenticated via the Active Directory. We've got interfaces to third-party building management systems such as the Honeywell EBI, etc., that could be used for also deployment and dispatching of alerts, but also for controlling of the facility. And as I mentioned, we've got asset inventory and reports with par level, so you can see at a glance where you've got either too few or too many assets of a particular category. And these are just to mention a few. So if that is the short description of the benefits of both the Centrak RTLS system and the Omni software, let's have a look at how we would add these objects, these Centrak objects, to the Omni EV2 client. So if we go into the readers, for example, we can add by type, and there we have the Centrak monitor, Centrak star, Centrak LF. You can add them simply by double-clicking and entering in the unique identifier of this device, right? There's no auto enrollment here. It's just one by one. We add them and we key in the ID. Same thing for badges. Add by type. You've got the Centrak badge, and here you can use a button press. So once you have the network devices already defined, then you can get the ID of the badge via a press on the tags button. Now, of course, you need to set up on the Centrak server side the Elpas connector application that sends the net messages to the Iris server. So there's no need to set up the address of the Centrak server because the Omni address is defined within the Centrak server, and they're pumping messages to us, or the badge events to us, via the Elpas protocol. That's XML on UDP is being sent to us. So we simply have to define these objects, and once they're defined in the system, then we can then begin with using all of our alert logic and tracking clients and search utilities for both the Centrak and the Elpas together. Yep, that's it for today. Short discussion about the Centrak extension to Omni. Thank you.